Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. If you've watched the previous episodes at all, you'll know that I've been testing this Tailwind Suicune set, which has been really fun to use, so I'm going to continue using the team for today's episode as we jump right into it. Now, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I think I'm going to change up the Pokemon for a couple, or just for the next couple of episodes, just because, you know, it's a lot of fun, but I do want to try out a new Mega Evolution, so I will be featuring new Mega Evolutions very soon, so keep your eyes on that, and if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments below. I'll probably be focusing on some of the stronger ones in VGC, but I do want to test out Gallade and Lopunny too, because a lot of you guys have asked for that one. So we'll be jumping into today's episode with a rating of 1722 and a record of 35 and 16, which is pretty good. I think the top 10 ratings in the US right now currently is just around 1730s, and Soon from Singapore is actually going to be our first opponent of the day. Soon is actually a really good friend of mine. He's a head judge and a tournament organizer over there in Singapore, and he's really doing a fantastic job organizing tournaments, and he's really just a fantastic guy. I've met him at the World Championships for the last couple of years, and honestly one of the nicest guys in the VGC community, so I'm really excited to be battling him here. Singapore has a very impressive VGC scene, and I'm really hoping that they get more official support, though we are finally starting to see premier challenges there, and yeah, they actually managed to get their first player into the World Championships back in 2013 through the Last Chance qualifier, which was absolutely amazing. So I continue to do my best to support the scene over there, and it's really cool to see a VGC scene develop. But let's actually get into this match here. Soon's got a team of Gengar, Greninja, Talonflame, Terrakion, Mawile, and the last one is Sceptile. So I'm guessing that's Mega Sceptile, but also Mega Mawile on my opponent's team. Should be an interesting match. Now Suicune here is actually really fantastic, bar the Sceptile. Man, when I deal with these Pokemon that I haven't seen in so long, I often forget their names. But yeah, this should be fun. I'm gonna go lead with the Suicune, and I don't know, his team is very anti-Kangaskhan because he's got Intimidate, he's got the Terrakion, and he's got Gengar to Will-O-Wisp it. So actually very scary to lead with Kangaskhan immediately. I'm actually thinking of going Suicune Sylveon, just because Sylveon puts so much offensive pressure against my opponent's team right from the start. So let's see. I don't know, Soon's actually got a very powerful team, and in terms of the team matchup, I actually don't like how things look. You know what? I'll go Suicune, Sylveon. Heatran in the back to wall, Talonflame, Mawile, and Gengar. And the last one. Who do I want? Zapdos or Kangaskhan? Okay, I chose Kangaskhan for the fake out pressure, but I actually don't think it's the best choice here. Soon actually messaged me on Facebook, so this should be a fun match. And yeah, best of luck to him. I think he's actually got a really good team here, so I'm very scared going into it, just because it definitely threatens me a ton. But let's go. So I'm gonna go with Soon goes with Gengar, Terrakion, a lead I'm pretty familiar with, as I go with Suicune and Sylveon. Not the best of lead matchups here, but not the worst either. He can easily double up into my Sylveon here with a Rock Slide Sludge Bomb, which is what I'm really scared of right now. I'm tempted to switch into Heatran and Scald the Terrakion. Though if he doesn't have Sludge Bomb on Gengar, this makes things a bit different. I'm not sure here. I'm really not sure. I also want a Tailwind here, but I'm scared of a potential taunt coming onto this Suicune. So I think I'm just going to go straight for the Scald onto Terrakion. You know what? I'm going to pull the switch into Heatran. That way I can kind of redirect the attention away from this Suicune. So, I'm just making a safer play right now, but I do put my... Wow! Not what I was expecting at all. Gengar going for the Thunderbolt into that Suicune. That does a ton of damage. That might be Specs Gengar? Really not sure, but really nice play there from Soon this first turn, as he also goes for the Scald onto Suicune. Will it knock it out? It won't. I'm really specially defensive, or actually, excuse me, physically defensive. So Soon making an excellent call that first turn, not targeting my Sylveon slot and instead doubling into the Suicune, but I'm able to Scald that Terrakion. But wow, even without the Sash, it manages to hang on. So that was definitely a great first turn on Soon's end, and things don't look very good right now. I was not anticipating that Terrakion surviving with the sliver of HP there, and I should have gone for the Tailwind, I guess. So very well done on Soon's end this first turn. You know what, I'm just gonna Tailwind, well, Yeah. I'm going to just Tailwind. I mean, Suicune's going to faint here, and I'm going to protect with Heatran so I can get a free switch into the Kangaskhan in the back and then fake out Substitute the following turn. I really do think that Gengar is spexed. But, oh, wow, he actually... Oh! The new technology coming out right now. Wow, this is a really interesting team from Sunzen as he goes for an EQ. Will that knock me out, though? No, it won't. That was a... Ooh, that was a huge turn for me then to get back into this match. Now I can actually just Snarl and Heat Wave. Wow. You see how bulky my Suicune is. They're able to take that Earthquake from Terrakion, you know, non-stab boosted and double target there, really helping me out there. Was not anticipating Suicune getting a sort of extra turn there, but that's going to help me out a lot because now I did get the free Tailwind up. So, you know, I think if he had just close combated Heatran, Thunderbolted Suicune there, it would have made it a lot more difficult, but, you know, Heatrans often carry Chople Berry, which is why he might have been hesitant to actually close combat into the Heatran, just because, you know, might have been able to survive. But Sune's actually going to pull out the switch from Terrakion here. What's going to come in? Sceptile is going to come in, but that's going to take a Heat Wave, so I think I'm going to be able to pick up 2 knockouts here. Yeah, wow. As Heat Wave here should knock out the Sceptile. As it does. But that Gengar, pretty bulky as it actually manages to hang on with a decent amount. But I'm going to get a Snarl off here. Single target might actually be able to pick up the knockout. Let's find out. As it does. Wow. That was such a huge tailwind on for my part there. I mean, like I said, I really wasn't anticipating getting it off, but, you know, that actually ends up helping me out so much more. As his last two, well, you know, as he's revealed there, Talonflame and Terrakion with that low HP. So, would be hard for me to actually lose this match at this rate, but, you know, it's never over until it's actually over. I'm going to go straight for the Scald into the Talonflame, and I'm just going to go for a Earth Power into the Terrakion because I don't want to risk missing my attack. As Talonflame goes for a Tailwind of its own, but it might be a bit too late considering the lead that I've got here. And I do get the Earth Power off successfully against the Terrakion, so I'm sure Sune wasn't expecting the Suicune to survive that Earthquake, but, you know, Suicune is so defensively bulky. As I'm going to get a Scald off here. So, man, this Suicune Heatran combo is just deadly. Not going to knock out Talonflame, but that's basically going to be game. I can't stress how much that Tailwind really sealed the deal up for me. I think had Suicune fainted that turn, it would have been a much closer match since I would have been able to bring in Kangaskhan. You know, with Kangaskhan out, I would have faked out the Terrakion and substituted with Heatran. Just because Heatran behind the sub actually kind of beats his entire team. Especially assuming that was the Specs Gengar that I thought. So I'm going to get this Heat Wave off, as that should knock out the Talonflame. As it does. So Sune actually messaged me, good game, my team is Suicune weak. So yeah, I was very lucky to have gotten that Tailwind off, and it definitely changed the course of the match. But really great game, and Sune had a interesting team, which we could have seen that Sceptile come out a bit more, but can't complain. And that first turn definitely caught me off guard. It was a very smart play, and it makes sense given that he, you know, says that his team is Suicune weak, so it explains why he overextended to try to pick up that knockout. But yeah, as he says here right now, he thought Earthquake could have finished off Suicune, but great game to him, and it's always cool to battle, you know, friends and people you know on battle spots. So that's awesome, as we're going to look for another match, and hopefully with another win we can jump to 1750, which would be really cool since we just hit over 1700 last night, so that's great. But yep, gonna look for our second opponent of the day. I love the Suicune Heatran combo so much, it's really fun, as we find a 1663 rated player from Japan. So, let's see what my opponent's got here. Oh wow, it's a really interesting team of Gyarados, Salamence, Rotom Heat, Abomasnow, Jellicent, and Excadrill. So it kind of looks like Trick Room Hail with the Jellicent and Abomasnow, but also curious as to which one is the Mega Evolution, because it could be Salamence or Gyarados. But yeah, Excadrill is also interesting. Not seen as much in VGC 15, but it was actually really common in VGC 13. If you guys know Ben Rothman at all, he ran it for quite a long time, and it was a very powerful combo with Tyranitar, but Excadrill isn't as good. Excadrill was also on Randy Qua's team, who's one of the best players in Canada and in the world. He used Mold Breaker combined with Togekiss that year to really just Earthquake everything to death. But yeah. Let's see what I really want to go here. Trick Room is always kind of a tough matchup here for me just because I don't really have a way to stop it, you know, by not having Taunt. So, let's see. I'm going to go with... Kangaskhan's not a bad lead here just because with Scrappy I can still prevent any that Jellicent from setting up a Trick Room, and he doesn't have any redirection either. So... Sylveon's not a bad lead here, honestly, either. Though Excadrill is potentially scary. I think I'm going to go with Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan, Zapdos, or Kangaskhan Terrakion. Both are quite tempting. Or Kangaskhan Suicune. This is a really interesting matchup. I feel like we both have just strong Pokemon against each other, but like, there's not a clear Pokemon that I don't really want to bring in this game. Kangaskhan, and I think I'm gonna go with Zapdos. Just because I've got Heat Wave and Roost. In the back, I'll have Suicune is really tempting in this match. Oh, this is tough. I'm running out of time. Terrakion, and I ended up bringing Heatran, and that was not the right call. I wanted to bring it to wall the Abomasnow and Rotom Heat, but if I could go back, I would have definitely changed the Suicune just because it walls my opponent's team so hard. So I should have kept that Suicune, but we'll see. One of the great lessons about VGC is always learning to adapt too, so it should be interesting. We do see Excadrill and Abomasnow coming out from my opponent here against my Kangaskhan Zapdos. Having Heat Wave here just might prove to be really helpful, as Mold Breaker activates before pressure, so that indicates to me that that is actually a Scarf Excadrill. Interesting. So maybe it wasn't actually a terrible idea to have Heatran, just because this Heatran can easily switch into any of Abomasnow's attacks. Now this first turn, I think I'm just going to fake out the Excadrill and honestly Heat Wave. I would expect, oh, he does pull out the switch with Excadrill. Very good play there. I was hoping he'd stay in, but he made the safer play as Gyarados comes in. Oh man, fantastic play on my opponent's end. If that's a Mega Abomasnow that I'm guessing, he's probably going to Mega Evolve and just Blizzard. Though if it goes for a Protect, then things won't be as bad. And now I'm kind of wishing I Power Up Punch there, but oh well. And there is a chance, oh yeah, it does Protect, so actually that ends up working out alright. I do reveal the Heat Wave, which might actually even scare the Abomasnow to switch out, but you know what? Man, Fake Out's animation is huge there, but I basically get free damage off here, which actually isn't nearly as bad as I thought it would have been. Missed the Heat Wave there on Gyarados, but wouldn't have done much damage anyway, though, you know, you always had that burn chance. Now I'm wondering if that's actually Mega Gyarados. Maybe it's actually not a Mega Abomasnow. Mega Gyarados, of course, was the world champion of 2014 on Sejong Park's team. This doesn't look like a team that would really support Gyarados too well because it doesn't really look like it would use Dragon Dance, but I'm not really too sure, honestly, right now. I really have to be careful of this Scarf Excadrill, though, because it can Earthquake everything I have in the back to death, so I'm really going to have to watch out right now. Let's see. I think I can just... I want to Power Up Punch the Obama here and Heat Wave. I don't feel like that Gyarados... I mean, that Gyarados wouldn't just take a T-Bolt from this... from my, Zapdos. So, you know, I'm going to Heat Wave and Power Up Punch. He actually switches out Gyarados, which is absolutely perfect here. As Rotom comes in. Good switch in there. He's not even going... Yeah, it's not Mega Abomasnow, I guess. It's probably Mega Gyarados. So Power Up Punch connects here. As long as Heat Wave connects, that should be a knockout. So this is one of the few times where actually having Heat Wave is really helpful, but I really, really hope it can hit here. If it does, I'll be in a fantastic position. And it does connect. Unless it's Aqua Berry Abomasnow. Nope. So I'm not really sure what my opponent was going for here. I guess the Kangaskhan Zapdos lead is actually really, really good against my opponent, which makes sense, but the switch last turn, you know, the Intimidate makes sense, I guess, but my opponent probably wasn't expecting a Heat Wave coming out from the Zapdos, which makes the matchup like 10 times more difficult for him. So I guess we're gonna see, I think that's Gyarados coming back in. Yep, so getting another Intimidate off, bringing my Kangaskhan now to neutral, but I'm up 4-3, and I got rid of Abomasnow, which was definitely a huge threat right now, so I actually feel pretty good. Right now, let's see, I've got Lump Terrakion in the back, I've got a Heatran, but now I do wish I had Suicune in the back, just because Suicune has a much better matchup against the Excadrill. But let's see, I could just double edge the Rotom here and T-Bolt the Gyarados, but I don't think that Gyarados is going to... I feel like it's going to switch out into Excadrill, honestly. So I'm tempted to double edge right now and just Heat Wave. You know, even if he stays in, what's Gyarados really going to do? So I'm going to Heat Wave. He protects, which is perfectly fine with me. Let's see if double edge and Heat Wave can pick up the knockout on this Rotom Heat. Probably not if it has Citrus Berry, because it's going to heal enough from the Citrus, but wow, that double edge does a lot. But yeah, it does have the Citrus Berry, so I don't think I'm going to be able to pick up a knockout here. But this actually works in... Oh, wow, it actually might pick up the KO. Let's see. I'm fine regardless. As Heat Wave does connect with Rotom, how much does it do? Oh, barely misses out on the knockout. As we do see a WoW going on to my Kangaskhan here. So this actually works out perfectly. And the reason I say this is because you don't normally want a Scarf Pokemon in the back when your opponent still has all 4 of their Pokemon. So I think Scarf Pokemon are really, really powerful as leads, you know, just because you put on the pressure. And in the back, they can clean up games. But I think one of the scariest things when you are using a Pokemon with Choice Scarf is you lock yourself into a move. And normally, you know, that move can help out against maybe 2 or 3 at most of your opponent's Pokemon, but not all 4. And this is kind of one of the things in team building, too. You know, you should never have a team that's completely weak to Rock Slide or Earthquake. And so in this case, that Excadrill is... Oh, it's Mold Break. Okay, well, I mean, Zapdos is Flying type, so I'm not going to be affected by it anyway. But, let's see. I feel like that Excadrill at this point is going to feel the pressure to Rock Slide. And if it does choose to Rock Slide, then it's basically game. Though, I mean, he can still flinch everything to death. So, I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch onto it. And I'm just going to T-Bolt the Gyarados. If I get the T-Bolt on Gyarados, it's basically game. But see, Sucker Punch really does a meager amount of damage there. Yep, Rock Slide coming out, so that's really good because that Excadrill is basically committing to Rock Slide. But I do see one other way my opponent can get back into this game. Oh, but never mind. I was gonna say if Gyarados had Dragon Dance and it was Mega Gyarados, then he could have potentially went for flinches there. So in retrospect, I think I probably should have targeted the Gyarados, but I knew Excadrill was Scarf, so I just wanted to get some damage off there. So, wow, I mean, this game ended up working out pretty perfectly for me, to be quite honest. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch out Kangaskhan, because I have a Fake Out left. So I'm going to switch out into my... I mean, it doesn't really matter, actually. But I don't want to get flinched to that, so I'm just going to go for the 100% win. And I'm going to Heat Wave here. But basically, by switching out into Terrakion here, I get a free switch him back into Kangaskhan once Zapdos faints, and then I can just fake out close combat for the game. That way, you know, no Rock Slide shenanigans, even though, you know, the probability of him winning is very, very slim. You know, why give your opponent any odds when you have a guaranteed win in the back? And like I said, I know this Excadrill Scarf since in the beginning of the game it revealed. Or you've seen how fast it is, basically. And if there's any move that can get you back into a VGC game, it's Rock Slide. And if you guys watched the Road to Ranked episode, I think it was 2 episodes ago, you'll know how Rock Slide came through in the end, so I'm not going to risk it. And I'll just, fake out and go Double Kick. And for anyone wondering why I have Double Kick, as I've explained in previous videos, it is there for Sash Pokemon like Bisharp and Smeargle. And that way, it's actually a nice attack to finish Pokemon off when you don't want to deal with the defense drops. So Double Kick does pick out the knockout onto Excadrill there, and I am able to win the second game of the day 3-0. So, wow, the team just performed excellently today. In the first game against Soon, obviously getting that Tailwind up with Suicune was so crucial. And in the second game, Kangaskhan Zapdos just kind of, you know, really destroyed my opponent, honestly. And, you know, it's rare for me to want Heat Wave more than HP Ice. I feel like HP Ice helps against the more meta teams, you know, because you see Pokemon like Landorus T running around everywhere, and so Heat Wave doesn't do much, whereas HP Ice does. But I guess by having Suicune in the team, you know, it does scare away Landorus T, so having Heat Wave on Zapdos isn't a terrible idea. And in this game, it was really the MVP. It allowed me to secure the knockout in Abomasnow, you know, knock out the Rotom Heat after the hail damage. So wow. That second game ended up being pretty perfect for me, honestly. So that was a really fun episode. Slightly shorter, but both opponents had really interesting teams, especially that second one. And like I said, Soon is an awesome guy, so very happy to have gotten the chance to play him as well. And he is really doing some amazing things for the VGC community over there in Singapore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, peace.